Welcome to Say It in 4. I'm your host, TerrenceEdwards. Joining me today, we have Brittany, Charnetta, Daniel, and Chanel. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Okay, so now, what are we talking about today?
Okay, first off, we love when you guys, the viewers out there, you guys support the show, and we love it. We had somebody actually send us a message. Okay, check this out. Help! My husband doesn't want to have sex too often. What should I do? So what do? Your husband doesn't want to have sex with you too much, right? He barely wants to have sex with you. So what do?
Help yourself. I don't know. You gotta. Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of factors to that. I think we need to know more. Like, is this something recent where you guys were doing it all the time and now it's kind of tapered off? Like, but yeah, it's little self pleasure there. Doesn't hurt.
Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Charnetta on that. We need a lot more to it. But I mean, it's almost like you need to sit down and have a conversation with him too, because maybe it's something that you used to do that you're not doing anymore, that he's not attracted to. So maybe you maybe have started out where you did things a certain way. Now you tapered off from that, and so by him not being attracted to that, it hasn't given him that urge to have sex with you. So
yeah, it could be
it's
her
a communication.
As well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She could have gained weight. I hate to say it that way, but instead of her saying something, he's just, I don't want to hurt her feelings. Instead of saying, "Hey, let's go to the gym together, babe."
Okay, well, I have a question for you guys though. Like, what happens if you guys have some kind of like health thing going on with your joint down there? Are you honest enough to let your female know if something's going on with your package down there, or do you just keep it in the back of your mind and still do it?
Are you talking about erectile dysfunction?
Something like that, yeah.
Because that's the only thing I can think of right now, that where my joint would be like, but at that point in time, like I said, that's another, that's another conversation that you gotta have with them and say, "Hey, this is what's going on," and then you can go to the doctor and get help.
Women can't deal with that type of conversation now.
No, men can't deal with that type of conversation.
Right, men. Yeah,
women can deal with. I feel like women welcome that type of conversation. I feel like men, y'all egos and pride.
Yeah, manhood, right?
Y'all
be talking about y'all things wrapped around the sun.
And so y'all cannot. I feel like y'all get y'all feelings hurt. Like, so much is tied up into y'all package. And so I feel like a lot of men, even if they were having erectile dysfunction issues, I feel like a lot of men probably wouldn't even address it with their woman. I feel like a woman would possibly bring it up to a man, but I feel like a man would sweep it under the rug as long as he could and take it. And he may go to the doctor if it gets brought up in a conversation. But I feel like men, y'all don't have enough balls to even talk about it like you need to.
Now, what happened? Okay, let's change the subject real quick. So what happens when, well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. But so what happens when, like, the guy just, like, he can't get hard anymore because it's something that you're doing wrong and he's just not digging you anymore? You know what I mean? Maybe it's like the sexual
you
position.
Gotta communicate
maybe
that.
Yeah.
And it's not what you say. It's not what you say. It's how you say it, right? So you can't tell me that you're just not digging me no more because you was digging me at one point. So
at one point when you was 145.
So so my
when you was 145, I was digging you, and then now we've been married for a whole 20 years, and then now you 625. Like, I can't be with you and be happy.
Yeah.
I feel like,
because in the beginning, I didn't have to move different things to get into the coochie. Now I have to do that after 20 years.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
I feel like,
you know what I mean? So, like, people got to keep that in mind.
And I feel like that's a true statement. Like, I'm not so naive to think that, like, women, we do have to be mindful that men have to be mindful of it as well. Let's not get twisted, because men can let themselves go and become, sloppy and all of that and just not care like they used to. So I think as a person, you do have to be mindful of that. And there's nothing wrong for your partner to being like, yo, I want you to take better care of yourself because I want to be attracted to you. But you have to be willing to have that conversation. That's if you're dealing with a level of maturity, right? As a woman, if I'm a wife, I want to make my man happy. I want him. So if he's not, tell me, because I want to work it out. Even if my pride might take a jab, but I'm a big girl, you know, and if I want to keep my man, I want to keep my husband, I'm going to do what I need to do. And if I keep it real, if I know I lost, I know I gained weight too. So shit, I want to fix it too. Help me out. Like,
you know what, Brittany? I like that.
Help
You're
me,
so
help
genuine. Brittany, you're so genuine, you're so real about that, because just that little part that you said, someone would be very uncomfortable and insecure, especially if a man is coming at a woman's weight. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Women don't want to really be told about their weight being a certain way.
Right.
But for me, you can't be a man out of shape, talk about how this feeling need to be back in shape. Like, you need to be worrying about yourself too. Like, don't put all your emphasis on the women having to look a certain way. Well, guess what? The same expectation is for the fellas too.
As well.
Yeah, but I think that's why it was key in what Brittany said on is how you say it, because like if I gain weight, my wife gaining weight, I could be like, hey babe, we both put on some pounds, you know, to a certain degree. Let's actively, you know, let's eat differently, let's do this, but let's do it together, not, you know, putting all the blame solely on you. Especially you can't do that if you know, she home all day taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, doing all this other stuff, and now you want to come at her and she like, what? Taking care of your black ass.
But why do I have to tell her that? Like, clearly she know that she put on some pounds though, right? We all know.
So, but she doesn't know that suddenly.
I'm just asking, like,
she doesn't know that her putting on pounds has suddenly disgusted you so much that you're no longer attracted. So yeah, you gotta. Like,
well, I mean, so if we're talking about 5 to 10 pounds, okay, cool. If we're talking about 15 pounds, okay, cool. But we're talking about a whole 100. When you add a whole 100 on, that's a problem. Or a whole 70 pounds, that's a problem. If I didn't meet you that way, and then you just changed up on me.
Wait, would you feel like that if you're married to a woman too? Because when you're married to somebody, you're taking vows through better, through worse, through sick, through health.
That's just something in place to make you feel bad. That's all it is. It's just something in place to make you feel bad with those vows. Like, yo, it is what it is. We said this, but you got to uphold them as well.
I have a friend who has in a marriage, and her husband like really told her, yo, you cannot gain more than 20 pounds. Like, and told her that from day one, right? And she through the whole marriage, she's known like, yo, he won't accept me getting, you know, too big. And I'm just like, damn, that's gotta be miserable. Like,
yes, because the love is conditional. It's not unconditional.
Well, of course it is. Of course.
No.
Yeah, but it can't.
So why? Okay, you're making me feel
like when
like
you make a relationship a transaction.
Yeah, a lot of shit in life can happen.
But why do you think?
Cause a lot of things.
So
but you can't make it transaction.
If it's not medical or something like that, then okay. You know what I mean? But I'm saying when she's like, oh, well, I mean, we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. I'm not even gonna.
No, you don't have to leave it alone. So
we're gonna leave it alone.
Like girls have, you know, ladies have kids and they gain weight from that. And sometimes
that's what I'm saying. That's cool.
So, yeah, but I'm saying, but you got to be able to go to them and say, hey, let's work on this together. Because when you single a person out in any, even in a friendship or anything, that person feels some type of way and it can't be transactional. Like, you know, I hate when people say, like, I've heard girls before say, oh, I don't have sex with him because he don't do this. Okay, so if he does this, then that's going to make you have sex. It doesn't make sense. Because it's like it's a transactional environment and you don't really love them.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But how do you increase your love? Like, how do you get love for somebody? It's a combination of shit that equals the love, not just one thing in regards to feelings.
I don't know if you know what.
Sex,
I
how you look. You know what I mean? So it is transactional.
Okay.
It's past all that though. Like, it's that person, everything about them.
Right.
You know, and it's a combination of stuff.
Attracted to that you've grown in love with, right? You've heard situations like that where that person, not my type, but me and that person vibe so much that I've grown to be in love with them. And so that came through time and chemistry and everything. So it's like, yeah, it plays one part, but it's one little bitty part. There's so much more than just that. And so you can be in a relationship where our love is engulfed in all this other stuff besides that one thing. That's when it becomes fulfilled and we have a good relationship.
All I was trying to say is that pretty much if I met somebody who was, I don't know, like plus size, whatever the case may be, and then they just drastically lose all of this weight, I didn't go for that. You know what I mean? Because I could have been with that type of person in the beginning. So then now you done changed up on me and I fell in love with that person. Now I have to learn how to love this person.
I mean, you know what? If you lay down that foundation ahead of time and that person, if physical is something very important to you, then for sure, like express that with the person you're dating or you're, you know, ahead of time so that they know what expectations you have. If you love somebody, truly love them, then a lot of times that's not gonna like dead the relationship. It might cause a little tension or, you know, y'all will get past it, but it's not gonna.
Okay. So last question before we close. Love. What exactly is love, right? And how do you transpire love, or like, I don't know, I'm looking for the right way to frame this question, but how do you get love for somebody?
Somebody that makes you feel complete. Everybody's destined to want to find their soulmate. And I know my soulmate, you know, has to be another version of me. Till the wheels turn off and fall off, you know, I'm going to be with you forever.
Right.
I think that's what love really stems from. It's just like when you have that one connection with somebody and you know it's different from anybody else, like it just stands out. Like to me, that's like a true definition of love.
Now, what happens when they start to take some of those things away?
It's not based on situations. It's not based on circumstances, right? Love is, that's why I say it's something that takes time, because I can love, or I think I love you right now, but when you're in a different season in your life, you become a different person, and I need to love that person as well. And so when you go through death, right? That's a whole, when you're grieving, when you're going through sicknesses, like that's when love is really tested. That's when it really comes to like, all right, or am I really, because you become a different person. So that's why I feel like love isn't a honeymoon phase. You cannot, lust is, but love is something that takes time, because what happens when that person loses their job and now they got to depend on you for everything?
Yeah, and my grandmother used to say, until don't marry somebody, or you can't really fall in love until you've seen them in 4 seasons. And just once you've seen them in 4 different seasons, then that's when you know that you love them. If you appreciate them after you've seen them in 4 seasons, you know that you love them.
Yes, Grandma.
Yes,
Grandma knows.
Don't you love it?
Wisdom right there.
I love it.
Also, I feel like love is an emotion and we fall in and out of love, you know, and so it's more about a commitment. You can't, it's not just gonna be like, oh, I love you every day and all that. So
but how do you
be like that?
But in a marriage, I don't think that you fall out of love.
You can.
Yeah, shit could happen. Stuff happens. You know.
No, you can't fall out of love with somebody that you're married to. Unless like it's just done and then you guys are about to get divorced, and he did something to
even
you.
with that, I think you'll always love the person you're married with, but things do happen to where you can fall out of love with somebody. I mean, there's and where, you know, you can lose, somebody could, you know, betray your trust. And that's a, you know, a part of love, but you may say, hey, we're going to work through this, build my trust back up to the fact of where I can get back to that.
All right. So we'll close the show on that note. Because I mean, I hear you guys and I understand. It's like, oh, you know, you cheated on me or you did this. So now I kind of don't love you like that. Yeah. Because I mean, I'll share certain things about my life. One of my exes, we had some issues with finances. A long time ago, long time. Way back.
We don't got any issues no more.
Yeah. So we had those issues, and how she dealt with the idea that it was broke. It just didn't sit well, you know, it didn't sit well with me, and I didn't like it. So I was like, yo, I don't really like this person like that, you know, like I'm falling out of love. So I kind of get that, you know, because she couldn't deal with that type of shit. So if she dealt with it and she was like, yo, like we can make this work, then cool. You know what I mean? But she struggled to deal with that. All right. So thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Terrence Edwards. We got Charnetta Williams, Brittany Crutchfield, Chanel Fladger, and Daniel Smith.